Who are you protecting? The invisible cost of deciding what others can afford. The most common reason I hear for not raising prices, it's rarely about doubt in the work. It's not about a lack of results or shaky testimonials. It's not even about fear of rejection. Not really. It's this: my people can't afford more. In a recent workshop, when we were discussing this very issue, I said something that made the room go silent. A single sentence that cracked the surface of an old narrative so many of us still carry. I watched it land. I felt the field shift. It was like time paused. This truth echoed not just in words, but in the bones. You are playing God with their sovereignty. When you decide what someone else can or cannot afford, when you shrink your prices to match their imagined budget, when you edit your ask before the words even leave your mouth, you are stepping into a role that was never yours. You are inserting yourself between them and their power. And while it feels like generosity, it's actually self-erasure. You're trying to protect them, but at what cost? Instead, you are robbing them of the opportunity to rise. You are collapsing your own power under the guise of compassion. I get it. I've done it too. There are people I feel called to serve, people I love, people I see, people whose lives I want to help change. And there's heartbreak in realizing that I can't always do that and build the kind of wealth that I need to sustain my mission. But undercharging doesn't create access. It creates burnout. I've seen brilliant mission-driven entrepreneurs contort their pricing so much that they couldn't pay their team, invest in support, or even take a full day off. That's not sustainable. That is a slow bleed that looks virtuous until it empties you. Martyrdom is not a business model. You were likely taught that being accessible makes your work more worthy, that good people give more and take less, that their money is your obstacle, and obstacles are meant to be overcome, even if it costs you your sustainability or your sanity. Here's the truth. You are not a savior. You are a steward of the work, of the calling, of the price that reflects the sacred container you've built. Your job is not to manage someone else's financial decisions. It's to name the offer with clarity, to speak the price with love, and allow the other person the dignity of their own choice. If you've ever carried the weight of someone else's wallet, this is your moment to set it down. Because pricing that feels good in your body and calls your people forward with clarity and love isn't the end of the transformation. It's the spark, the ignition, first act of the fire you were born to light. Here's a short tapping script to help you move through this story. If you're not familiar with tapping, we're going to be tapping on some acupressure points. There will be a video you can tap along with on the Substack app. But if you're just listening, however you're listening to this, we're going to start by tapping on the top of the head. I'll say a sentence, give you space to repeat after me, and then we'll move to tapping at the eyebrow, the temple, the cheekbones, the upper lip, that little notch in the chin, your chest, and then under your arm. And then we start back over at the top of the head. Tap with me. I release the need to assess anyone's financial capacity. Their bank balance is none of my business. Their wallet is not my responsibility. I release the habit of shrinking to fit someone else's imagined budget. I release the old reflex to prejudge what someone else can afford. I no longer carry the burden of deciding for them. I state my price with clarity. I let them rise to meet it or not. I don't price based on assumptions. I don't guess what someone can pay. I don't edit my brilliance to fit someone else's fear. What someone can afford is not my work to do. What I offer is. I trust grown adults to know what's right for them. I trust money to move through the people who are ready. I trust my job is to speak the truth of the work and name the number with love. I am no longer collapsing my power to make others comfortable. I am no longer shrinking the size of my ask to avoid being judged. I am no longer putting myself on sale to be more palatable. I am magnetic at full wattage. And my full wattage clients are responding. They want the full experience. They want the VIP seat. They want the intimacy, the depth, the magic that only I can bring. I no longer worry about whether they can afford it. That's not mine to manage. I trust their sovereignty. Daily affirmations. And you can keep tapping on these if you want. I trust my work to speak for itself. I trust my prices to reflect the depth of my devotion. I honor my clients by honoring their sovereignty. I release control and reclaim my clarity. I lead, I ask, I receive with love and power. Postscript. When you are collapsing your pricing to avoid being too much, you're not protecting your people, you're underestimating them. Trust their sovereignty. State your number with sacred clarity. The right ones will rise. Profit is protest. Sacred pricing is your revolution. Song of the Day, Spark by Ash and Bloom. Enjoy.